extra butter or extra bacon or meat, principally meat, if you was well in with your butcher, and you could sort of get your butcher and give you just that little bit extra. Mind you, it would cost you, obviously, but that little bit extra, those were the commodities that everybody was mostly interested in. And they were the commodities that brightened people's lives up.
The butter, margarine, lard, we used to have to do it in 2 ounces, 1 ounce, for an ounce a week I think we got. And the butter the same, till you got little bits, a little bit bigger, all in the little places on underneath the counter on the shelf. But that's when the people, you see, they wanted the dried fruit for Christmas cakes. That's when the black market came on. Oh, can we have some? Oh, we haven't any today. Oh, well, we'll have some next week. And you used to promise them, and you had to stick to your promises.
It was all done under the counter. Sweets, anything, it was done. I used to go to the local newsagent, Sweets, pass him a parcel. No questions, you mustn't ask any questions. He'll give you a parcel. You bring it straight back here. Get back home, it will be chocolates. Milk chocolates. Absolute treats. Wheeling and dealing. That was what the black market was all about.
And it would be true to say that most things could be had off the black market. It's surprising, really, what came to light. And where on earth the black marketeers got their material from, I would never know, but you could always get something through the black market.
I'm sure that most people were so honest that they wouldn't even have touched the black market. It was part of their war effort to take their ration and be satisfied. But of course, you'll always get the fringe and the odd man. I suppose if someone said, would you like a pound of sugar off the ration, most people would be a fool not to take it.
You wasn't going to go into Harrods or any one of those big stores and expect to get commodities for no coupons. But if you went into a market, because the majority of market traders were sort of a little bit shrewd in their dealings, I've only got 18 coupons. This is a hypothetical figure, obviously. I've only got 18 coupons. How much is it? And he said, well, it's 26 coupons. And he would say to you, all right, well, I'll tell you what to do. You pay me so-and-so, and you can have the other 8 coupons. And that sort of thing. That was a transaction. See, he wouldn't, until he knew you, you wouldn't go into a transaction with him. I mean, I remember during the war that we had a party, and we decided that we wanted to buy some black market whatever, whether it be beer or whatever, and who do you get? And then somebody comes along and says, we've got scotch to sell. But when we actually drank it, it was hooch. And it really was hooch. I think if you drank it today, you'd be classed as a wino or something, because it was definitely methylated spirits, doctored. But, you know, people drank it. You put a bit of orange with it, and it didn't seem as if it was a bad drink.
I've been to small backstreet warehouses which have been top to bottom full of sugar, butter. You know, it's obvious they weren't going to keep the butter there very long, were they? But if it's been full, I can say it in my mind's eye now.
Now, the Romford Food Office was in a very old house, and it had a huge cellar underneath, with only one door leading into the cellar. And I thought, right, this is the place for the ration books, because they had to be stored for a fortnight or so before the issue. I fixed 2 huge padlocks on the door, fixed an electric alarm bell, and we had 2 night watchmen sitting in the office, in touch with the police, and strict in orders not, under any circumstances, to open the door to anyone during the night. One morning I received a telephone call from the police, and they said, you've been done, your ration books have gone. And I just couldn't believe it. I pictured the front door smashed in, the watchman killed, and the answer was so ridiculously simple that this cellar, being an old house, had an outside lavatory over the far end, which was the safest part. And the thieves had come up during the night, pulled up the floorboards of the lavatory, dropped through onto the ration books, loaded them into sacks, across the neighbouring garden into a lorry, and away they went. Meantime, the 2 watchmen upstairs were blithely ringing through and saying, everything under control. Now, those books, there was about 100,000 they took, but £5 each was £500,000 worth of black market currency. which by today's prices I suppose would be something like 20 million. In other words, it compared with the great train robbery. Because all hell was let loose. We had the big brass down from Colwyn Bay and Scotland Yard. But they, although clearly it must have been on inside information, they didn't get anyone and they never got their ration books.
I think they left the area because I never heard of them at all. Never heard of them at all. They must have been, you know, sort of stolen there and passed on to somebody else somewhere else. Because I don't suppose it was just London that was doing all this transaction. They must have been doing it all up and down the country. You don't find all the villains in London, obviously. But, no, there was obviously people willing to sell coupons. I mean, I purchased coupons during the war quite openly, you know. Well, not quite openly, but I did it. You know, I bought coupons to get extra clothing.
It wasn't the sort of thing you publicised, that they were black market ration, but it would destroy the confidence perhaps in the rationing system in general and clothing coupons in particular. People would say, well, why should I give up my coupons and be restricted when I can go in the black market and buy a book for £5? They're floating about all over the place. Possibly, I don't know. We got no publicity, thank God.